Hey there, have you ever had a budget and you've always been annoyed when you've had to cut figures off your list that you were going to buy, and then you keep doing it? You think, oh, next time I'll get it, but then something else more important shows up and you're like, oh, I'm going to get that, this can wait. And then the time you finally think, hey, I'm now going to get this, it sells out. Yeah, that's what happened to me with this Lady Deathstrike. And I was lucky enough that I decided to go on eBay. This year I decided to experiment, go and have a look at stuff on eBay. Bought some Japanese Pokemon cards. Why? Because I like the quality of them. And I decided as well, maybe I could find some of the Marvel Legends figures that I've been personally looking for a reasonable price. And I did. I found this Lady Deathstrike from the Xemnu BAF Wave. This is also the Supervillains Wave of 2021. I found it for $30. $30. Which is great. I don't know if this figure really goes for a lot anyway, apart from maybe standard retail, maybe a little above standard retail. But there are a lot of people who charge a fortune for shipping and stuff, and well, I wanted to get a bargain. I got a bargain. Brand new, unsealed, perfect. So this has been one of the figures I've wanted for a long time. At least this was the third villain figure I wanted from this wave. I have the Red Skull, who is arguably one of the best supervillain figures Hasbro has done in the 2020s. But he is easily the best figure of this wave, and he introduces a new sort of body mold, which a lot of other characters have utilized parts for. So that's great. And then also AIM Scientist Supreme, who has a mix of new and old parts. Still holds up really well today. But Lady Deathstrike, I'm super excited to have a look at her with you guys. So let's just jump in, have a look at the packaging to start this off. Okay, so for packaging, we have this old Legend style box art and box shape. I really miss this shape, but that's just me. We have on both sides, we have the same Lady Deathstrike artwork. On the back, we have Lady Deathstrike in a bio. We have, which I've zoomed in on, the Xemnu Wave characters. So we have their Doctor Doom, who doesn't have a part. We have Dormammu, Hood, Arcade, Red Skull, and AIM Scientist Supreme, who I have both of them. Again, there's the bio. If you want to read it, please pause it. On the front, not really much else. On the bottom, legalese. On the top, no Legends logo, no Marvel logo. For a size comparison, you can see Lady Deathstrike with a box. Just for an early size comparison, I've brought in Astonishing Beast from Wave 2 of the mini comics from last year. Easily the best figure of that wave. And an underrated hit in the deluxe figures and the reissued characters in Ulik the Troll. Just another villain. Just a random villain like Lady Deathstrike. Usually when we start the first look of the figure, it's head to toe, right? That's what you generally watch. We're going to nails, to hands first, because inkjet printing nowadays that Hasbro does has bugger all on this. The hand application, the paint is perfect. There are no smudges. There are no missing little points like they had with the Abomination Deluxe recently with his nails. How they had that inkjet printing and how half his nails weren't even painted. On the front and behind, they weren't painted. And Lady Deathstrike, all her fingers are painted in silver and that have the beige plastic. It looks really good. So and I love the details in the wrist as well, you can see. But come on. Come on, Hasbro. You've got to be doing better than this. You can't. This is something that was great about the past, was that you guys were spot on with paint. Now you just do molded plastic because it's cheaper, and yet you charge us the same price. It's not fair, guys. It's not fair. But looking now at the head sculpt, it's really clean. Of course, this is not the inkjet printing. And a lot of people argue, oh, inkjet printing's better. No, I love the bigger eyes. It still looks realistic, and it gives off the whole comic thing. These are comic characters. They're not real people, right? So I love the larger eyes. I love how the paint for the head sculpt, the brown application, so it kind of looks like a hat. I don't even know what it really is that she's wearing, but I know the red is her hair. I would have kind of liked a maroon wash in there just to bring out a little bit of the details, but apart from that, it's pretty good. The shoulder pads, yeah, I would have really liked some metal in here, just some metal paint. The silver, just to bring out those metallic, robotic, half-humanoid details. And the legs, now, we will see in a few years, maybe in the same year, that these legs get used for Age of Apocalypse Shadowcat in a blue plastic. But I think for me, I really do like how this looks overall. I wish that the legs did also have just a dark brown wash or a black wash just to bring out those details. Or even better yet, you've got the cuts, right? The leg cuts, the stripes. Why not boot cuts? Female figures are always missing boot cuts. But if we're going to as well, I love the look of her from the front. Even though her cleavage is showing, I love the metallic details, the cybernetic details in there. You don't really see much of that sort of thing anymore because they aim at kids too, even though it's aimed at adults, this line. So, yeah. But the paint that is here is really well applied. The lower torso with the straps, what is that? I don't even know. The bandana wrapping around the crotch area, I have no clue what that is. But that's really well applied as well in the red paint. I love the white flared out sleeves that then you can see her sort of thin arms. How they're also really well painted with their cybernetics with the silver paint on there. I even love the little red ribbons around each of her arms. They give her a little bit of character. But overall, what this is, it's a really solid sculpt. And if you're not one for articulation, it looks great. It looks great and it will stand out perfectly on a shelf for your villains, X-Men villains, wherever you choose to display his character, Reavers, whatever, she'll look great. Okay, so for articulation, her head looks up a really decent way. She has great looking down movement, however it looks a bit strange with the head. Decent head tilting. Her arms, you can see, go up to 90 degrees. Basically, her hands, her biceps go full 360. And also her sort of flared out collar arms with the cybernetic enhanced fingers. They have both a vertical and a horizontal hinge. We also have very limited torso movement. You can pose her on the side. She does do a full 360 rotation there, but it is pretty limited. She has great double jointed legs, full 360 rotation on the thighs. And then there is a little bit of tilt to go back, not that much, but she has really decent ankle pivot. Her feet can move forward and back pretty well. For the only female foe of the supervillain Xemnu Wave, for accessories, she comes with only the body, which sucks. This figure standing at 5.8 inches could have at least come with extra hands, an extra head, but this was sort of the thing with Hasbro that some characters who really need accessories came with nothing and come with a body. We've seen this in the following year, in 2022, we saw this with Speedball and the controller. A lot of female figures are typically the carriers of the torsos, and that's now been changing. I mean, Enchantress recently with Scourge had it, but at least she came with some accessories. Why couldn't have Deathstrike come with some accessories? And that's a shame. It's a real shame. Okay, to start the true comparisons, here we have a plethora of villains. In the back, we have also from the Xemnu Wave, AIM Scientist Supreme, and the best figure of all, the Red Skull. In the front, we have Egghead from Ant-Man Quantumania Wave. This is the only figure I picked up from that wave, and I still think it's the best figure of the wave. People wanted it, we finally got it. We also have Omega Sentinel beside Egghead from the House of X Tri-Sentinel Wave. She can't stand, but has a great sculpt and great accessories. And also for your standard Marvel Legends comparison, beside the Red Skull from the Mindless One Marvel Knights Wave, on the Shriek body, we have Lady Bullseye. Continuing on, I've just thrown in a few other comparisons. We're leaving Red Skull here, And we're bringing in Marvel vs. Capcom Gamerverse 2-pack Captain America and the 85th anniversary Venom. Alongside that, we have Executioner from the X-Men 97 wave. We're bringing back Astonishing Beast. And for another standard Marvel Legends female comparison, we have here, also on the channel right now, the X-Factor version 1 suit Jean Grey retro card figure. If you're interested in getting it, please check it out. It is one of, if not the best Marvel Legends female figure in my opinion of 2025. Next up, we have, just for a few random comparisons, we're going to go right to left. On the right, I've done a quick little standard MCU comparison with the stealth suit Spider-Man from Far From Home, who I will be reviewing soon as well. And from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we have Adam Warlock. Now on the left, just for a mix of standard Marvel Legends, I kept Captain America here because I love just how the colors came out in this. I don't know. It's not my favorite Captain America, but him with Lady Deathstrike just really works. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. For a classic X-Men villain, here we have Pyro on your standard Marvel Legends mold of the Sunfire Spider-Man 2099. Of course, we've got to get our arch nemesis Wolverine here from the X-Men 97 show. And those two will be together in X-Men 97 Season 2, so I can't wait to see that. For a larger figure comparison, here we have Scar, Son of Hulk from the 85th anniversary Marvel line. We also have in the back, for some 90s nostalgia, Modular Iron Man from the Ursa Major wave. For some final comparisons, on the right, yes, on the right, we're going back to the right, we have, for your standard Marvel Legends Vulcan body, we have Banshee. We have Cap here once again. For your another female body, though standard and unfortunately outdated, here we have Spider-Woman. And for your standard Bucky Cap comparison, because Bucky Cap I still think holds up, here we have House of X Cyclops. And for your final true comparison, a variety of lines right here on your left. We have, of course, Capcom Cap, because I just love taking photos of them in it. We have the Blockies Elmo right in the front. We have in the middle of this plethora of characters, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern from the Mattel DC Multiverse line, my favorite Mattel figure in my collection. We also have in the back Captain Carrot from the DC Multiverse Collector Edition line. We have beside Lady Deathstrike, the Jada Toys Creeper from the Scooby-Doo line. This is basically, you could consider this the Scooby-Doo Where Are You line. And we also have Greg the Carbonized Stormtrooper from Star Wars Black Series, another Hasbro line. So, what are my final thoughts on this release of Lady Deathstrike from 5 years ago, 2021? Bloody hell, she still holds up. I really am so happy to have her. I cherry pick. I don't buy every single character, right? And I love that I can learn about characters by reading the books that action figures entice me. And I've got to actually pick up some stuff with Lady Deathstrike. Have to head out to that Marvel wiki and see what are the best reads there. Because that's an archive of great knowledge. So, I really do enjoy this figure. Is it the best of the wave? No. But I'm debating if it's the second or the third best, because I really do like AIM Science Supreme. Red Skull is undoubtedly the best of the wave. I think that this is a great release. If you are an X-Men completer, X-Men character completer that is, by all means, this is a great pickup. And if it's cheaper on the aftermarket than it was on retail, by all means you should get it, because I feel like this is going to go up once X-Men 97 Season 2 airs. Because she is going to be in the show with Morph, with Sabretooth, with Wolverine. So I could see this going up in price and being extremely hard to find on the secondary market. I was just lucky. With this one. I think that I wish she came with more accessories. That is something I don't like about this figure. I wish she at least came with extra hands or an extra head. Just, of course, for playability. I mean, accessories are always wanted, right, guys? No matter what it really is, as long as it actually does the job and helps the figure shine, I wish it had them. Limited torso movement is a shame, but at least her legs and her arms are posable enough that it kind of balances out. But I do kind of wish that the shoulder pads and the legs had a bit of a wash or some silver paint to them. Another reason I wanted to get this figure, and I didn't really mention it, I love playing her on Contest of Champions, and I love the design for that. Even though this came before that, I wish that this, design-wise, was that. So, there is that. But if you aren't really wanting to build out Xemnu, if you're thinking maybe they'll re-release in a few years, and you don't really want to get characters that you don't care about, I always think about one thing. If there were 3 characters you really wanted in the wave, what would they be? And if I haven't wanted to build a character, I've generally found that I wanted 2 or 3 characters from a wave. And that's basically this. Lady Deathstrike, Red Skull, AIM Scientist Supreme. They were my 3 that I wanted from this wave, but I can easily pick up the other figures if I want to build Xemnu. And I sort of do, but I just want to wait for a bit and see what Hasbro release in 2026. See if there's some other characters that I want to put first before I build out Xemnu. And I'm still building Scourge as well, so I want to get Phantom Rider and Wealth by Night as well. Apart from that, I think that's it for me. You can see my little brief review, my final rating there. What's next for the channel? Basically, I will be reviewing the Spider-Man blister card Hypno Hustler that has been recently released. I will be looking at a figure from 2019, the Stealth Suit Spider-Man, aka Night Monkey, from the Spider-Man Far From Home film. And to change up from Marvel Legends, I will be looking at the Blockies Elmo. So please, check them out when they come up. Please, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. If you want to comment some things, some questions, please comment some questions. If you like this video, please like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. I don't mind. Whatever floats your boat, okay? This has been S Figure Reviews. Thanks for watching. See you soon.